Patricia Adler is a sociology professor at the University of Colorado at Boulder. However, she is saying that she is being forced out of the university because of a lecture that she does twice a year. For the past 20 years, she says that she has done a lecture on prostitution. And she has help from her assistant teachers. They all come together to do this project. And it sounds controversial, but I think that she makes a really good point during her lesson. So this is a lecture on the stratification within prostitution. So there are a number of different types of prostitutes, and I know that sounds ridiculous to say, but it's true. If you look at the list of the prostitutes that she lectures about, she has slave whores, crack whores, bar whores, streetwalkers, and escort services, right? Now, while she does this lecture, she has the assistant teachers come in, and usually they're undergraduate students that are helping her teach the class, and they will play the role of one of these different types of prostitutes. In the process of doing so, there is a bit of a question and answer portion of the class where the students get engaged and they get to ask the normal people playing prostitutes, you know, what it's like to do what they do. So to be more specific, Inside Higher Ed talked about this in a little more detail. They said during the lecture, Adler talks with them about such issues as their backgrounds, how they got into the business, how much they charge, the services they perform, and the risks they face of violence, arrest, and AIDS. Now, I should be clear about her class. It specifically focuses on deviance and deviant behavior. So
how dare she? Okay, what is she, a sociology professor? Oh, right, that's exactly what she is. Okay, so first of all, are the streetwalkers zombie prostitutes?
That's exactly what's happening.
Oh, no, okay, all right, streetwalkers, okay, I got you. I've been watching too much Walking Dead repeats.
You have been.
Okay, not repeats, that was new to me on season 2.
Anyway. Information no one needs to know.
Okay, we're moving forward. My main question to you is, in the classroom, is there any
live sex?
There's no live sex in the classroom. I don't remember seeing any documents indicating that there was live sex.
Documents?
Exactly. The reason why the university is now allegedly forcing her out is because one of the assistant teachers actually went to administrators and complained about the course. Now, as I mentioned, she has been teaching this course for a number of years. She does this 2 times a year, this particular lecture 2 times a year. She's never run into any problems. But one of the assistant teachers went to an administrator and said, hey, you know what? Turns out that this might actually offend some people and make them a little uncomfortable. You might want to look into it.
He apparently said,
it is a shame! A shame!
All right. So Stephen Lay, who is the Dean of Colleges of Arts and Sciences at the University of Colorado at Boulder, called Patricia Adler into his office and basically gave her a few options. Okay. So the only 2 options that there were included, all right, you can either stop teaching that particular component or element of your class, don't do that lecture, and you'll be on your way, you'll be fine, right? However, if you do anything else that pisses us off, we'll fire you and you'll lose all your benefits. Or you can resign and go teach at another university and see if they like that lecture. And she has decided, you know what, I don't want to risk losing my benefits, so as a result, I am going to move to another university or resign and see if I can find another job.
All right, yeah, look, he didn't say we'd fire you. He, of course, protected himself by saying if there are any further complaints, it might lead to a dismissal for legitimate reasons. Oh, okay, sure, of course. All right, look, they couldn't be more wrong, and I actually think that this is partly because of Fox News. And let me explain why, okay? So, number one, of course it's within academic freedom. Not only do most of the students love this course, but they love it for a logical reason. You're studying deviance within sociology, and then what you wanted to teach was, you know, a group that you consider deviant, that one, you figure out their motivation a little bit from the people who are actually doing the role playing.
Yes.
Well, you get to live that character a little bit more. Certainly you understand it a lot better. And then when you get to ask questions of those people, then the people that are not even playing the characters but are students in that class also understand it better. And then second of all, you understand the range within that group, so you don't view them as monolithic. Some of them might be doing voluntarily, some of them might be, as she put it, slave whores, right? And she's doing that, of course, it's a controversial way of referring to prostitutes in that situation, and they're in a terrible situation. But what you do is you learn about the different people in that context, which is exactly what you're supposed to be doing in a sociology class.
So let me just also note that she is a tenured professor, which means that she should have the academic freedom to teach courses that could be considered controversial. That's the whole reason why we have tenured status at universities. So I think that a class like this is the type of class that usually remains the most memorable among students. Because it's one thing to have some monotone professor teach from a textbook and tell you, here, these are the different sociological theories, and here are the pros and cons of those theories. Those are the most boring courses, and you don't learn anything. This type of role-playing forces the students to actually visualize the type of stratification that occurs among this group of people. So I love the fact that she thinks outside the box and she tries to teach her students this way. I hate the fact that we live in a puritanical society that tells professors, no, shut your mouth, you should teach in the most monotone way possible because someone might get offended. If you're offended by this kind of stuff, you have no place on a college campus. You are supposed to be challenged, you are supposed to think outside the box, and to have administrators tell you, no, don't do that, it's a little too risky, it's absolutely ridiculous. And one other thing I just want to note, Stephen Lay allegedly told her, you know, after the whole Sandusky thing, we might want to be careful, okay? I'm paraphrasing. But the Sandusky thing is on a completely different end of the spectrum. Right. That's the molestation and the rape of young boys. This is just a way of teaching university students about something that's going on within a group of people.
All right, look, they mentioned Sandusky because they have no human judgment. So to them, they're like, sex, I heard students, I heard teachers, I'm panicking, I'm a robot, and those two words were entered into the equation and the result was panic, right? No, listen, why don't you sit down for a second and do your job and figure out the context and see whether it makes sense or not. But the reason I brought up Fox News is from time to time, Fox News will do a story. Well, they say, look at this liberal professor and what they're teaching, socialist, Marxist, and the sex and the kids. Can you believe they're doing this? The liberals, they're crazy, they're radicals. And what it does is it puts fear into the hearts of school administrators. Oh my God, what if I get featured on there? Oh my God, what if the conservative talk radio talks about me? Oh my God, my job could be in trouble. My job, my precious job could be in trouble. I would rather play it safe and say, you know what, you've been doing for 20 years? No, we had one complaint about it from, you know, someone who's offended by it. So better that I basically push you out of the school or shut you down and make sure you can't ever do that again than jeopardize my job even 1%. If let's keep it real, if the right wing complains here, the left wing isn't going to complain about this. It's the right wing that would complain.
Well,
and the guys who lead that parade are Fox News. So they're scared of Bill O'Reilly.
The left wing is full of deviance, Cenk. We're in favor of this type of behavior. That's why. I mean,
you
that's
know what
the reason.
We're in favor of knowledge, which of course the right wing is not. They hate knowledge. So, you know, that's part of the reason they've been attacking professors all along. And when they see something like this, they go, yes, if we can attack this, it'll make it seem like all the professors, including the science professors, don't know what they're talking about. And so it works for their agenda. And of course, well, the one thing that they take advantage of most is how scared everyone is of losing their job, including people that are in the media. Oh, you're left-wing bias, left-wing bias. I'm not left-wing, I'm left-wing. Fox News, what would you like me to do? Same thing in academia. We're not left-wing at the University of Colorado at Boulder. No, we'll fire a teacher talking about sex if we need to. So now look, to be fair, there's no indication in this story that the guy watches Fox News or they didn't attack her or anything like that. I understand that. I'm using them as a general, you know, stand-in for the right wing. And they've specifically attacked professors just like her in the past.
Look, if you're going to be closed-minded, like I said, I'm going to reiterate, if you're going to be closed-minded on a university campus, you should not be on a university campus. It's all about learning and putting yourself in situations that do feel uncomfortable. And that's not to say that it's only about higher education. All throughout life, if you want to be a knowledgeable individual, you have to put yourself in situations that feel uncomfortable and scary. So even the argument that this is something that makes people uncomfortable just angers me.
Yeah, look, okay, I mean...
Why are Americans so afraid of being uncomfortable? Be uncomfortable. It's a good thing. You learn a lot about yourself and other people when you're uncomfortable.